the Fight On campaign, Hope, Inspire, Smile. And it's Shauneen Smith, the daughter of Louis and Mary Smith, your sister.
My sister.
So Louise, what's the story about your dear sister?
Well, unfortunately, she's been very, very sick for the last number of years now.
Many years?
Well, she's always had minor health problems, and in the last 18 months it's just deteriorated altogether. She got diagnosed with macular degeneration, so she lost the central vision in her right eye. She had 15 Lucentis injections and laser, so you can imagine the pain she went through with that, but never once complained. And she got on with it, but she's lost the vision in that eye.
Yeah. She's a young woman.
She is, yes. So
she's
it's very
21. 21.
It's very difficult to deal with, but she's fantastic. She just gets on and she smiles and she inspires everybody else. But she got diagnosed first of all with macular degeneration, and then that went on for a few months, and then her health just deteriorated altogether. It was September 2012, and she was rushed to. She actually had an appointment in the Royal to get her eyes checked, and while she was in the queue to see the consultant, she started seizuring. Oh, and she blacked out altogether, and she was rushed up to the neurological ward in the Royal, where she remained for 16 days, taking non-epileptic seizures and blackouts. She doesn't recall anything from that time, but my mother can tell you that.
That's a blessing that she doesn't recall anything.
Yes, but Mummy said it was horrendous what she had to watch, and you know, Mummy sits with her, never leaves her side. She's great. She really is the rock of our family. But that all started then, and she got out of hospital, and her mobility was so affected at the time. She couldn't walk properly. She was throwing her pelvis forward when she was trying to walk, and she got out then, and she ended up in Daisy Hill in October. Then she recovered after that. In January 2013, she ended up in the Royal again, and she was taking strokes at the time then, as well as the non-epileptic seizures and the blackouts. And from that then, she was in the hospital maybe 2 weeks at the time. She recovered again from that after not being able to walk again. And throughout the year, she had a few episodes where she was in and out of hospital, but not hospitalised for a long period. And then this year, at the end of January, all of a sudden, she went into a seizure, and we rushed her into Daisy Hill, where they worked on her for a very long time, and they rushed her to ICU. She had put herself into a coma, and she was on life support and ventilated, and she remained in ICU for a few days, and then was transported to the respiratory ward there, and she remained there for about a week and a half. She got out, and she was in a wheelchair then.
Do you ever scratch your head and wonder what this is all about?
All the time, and it's so frustrating because we don't know what's wrong with her. She's got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Now, what is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome?
It's a connective tissue disorder that affects the collagen in your body. So it can range from having a lot of flexibility in your joints to the extreme cases of having too much flexibility and your organs just not being the way they should be, basically. So unfortunately, Shauneen has a very major part of the EDS. It's EDS for short. So
and before this, she was an athlete. She was running.
She was running all the time. She was at the gym. She would have went to the gym maybe an hour and a half every day. She was very dedicated, very, very fit girl. She was in the University of Ulster in Coleraine studying human nutrition, wanted to go on to be a dietitian. She still does. And through all of this, she had to stop her placement last year when she was in the dietetics department in Daisy Hill. And she got back, she fought, and she got back in September to start her final year. And she was a first class honours student, really top of the class. And she completed her first semester, but unfortunately then her health has just completely gone downhill, so she's had to step back again.
Is there any hope that her health will get better?
Well, we just have to hope. That's the only thing that's keeping us all going. At the minute, there's no cure. There's no cure for EDS. And
can she live with it? Can she?
She can live with it, but life? It has to be treated properly.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the issue here is that Northern Ireland or anywhere in Ireland doesn't have the support or treatment that EDS patients need.
What, Louise, is the support and what is the treatment she needs?
Well, she has a consultant for every organ in her body, so she has 12 consultants, and you can imagine how time consuming that is to go to appointments every single week. So she goes to all of them, but you know, they aren't aware of her condition. They're not taught about it at university here when they're training. and that's the big issue. And we need to go to London to specialists who actually have an EDS clinic in London, and they have all the consultants for each organ, and they'll be able to treat her. Now, at the minute, we don't know exactly how they'll treat her because we're still waiting to see them. So we're hoping to go see, get our first appointment then in June or July.
Yeah.
So we're on a waiting list to go to London
Now,
to one of the top professors.
how much of that in London will you get under the National Health Service?
Well, this is a private clinic, so nothing, unfortunately. So that's the problem with rare conditions. They don't have the help here, and unfortunately you have to go privately if you want help, which should not be the case.
What's it going to cost at a rough estimate? How long is a piece of string?
We have no idea because she's been told she's not allowed to travel on her own. She needs medical support, so we're looking into getting her our ambulance to take her to London to get the treatment she needs there. But at the minute, she's been currently diagnosed for getting tested for another condition. It's called PXE for short, and it's a condition, again, very rare condition to do with your connective tissue system, and it is a condition that affects the elastin in the body. And this is even more rare than EDS.
Goodness gracious.
If we can't get the help in London, we will have to go further afield to Belgium or to America. So at the minute, it's all a waiting game.
This is a major crisis.
It is.
In this young woman's life.
Major.
There's no escaping it, and that's why you're talking to us here.
Yes.
You know, it's a hard thing to do to come on television or to go into newspapers and tell people of your plight and tell people what's needed. But there's no other way if the health service isn't helping. Have you spoken to the health minister in Northern Ireland?
Well, we've put questions to him about what sort of policies and procedures are in place for people who have rare conditions and the treatment can't be provided here.
What has he said?
We're still waiting on our answer. So I'm hoping to have that by the end of today. Now it's been a few weeks. So.
Well, yeah. And I'm sure your own MLA would be helping you there, making the approaches to the minister.
Yeah. Mickey Brady's been a great help. I've went to speak to him a few weeks ago, and he's been a great help now.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that more will be done now. Especially, it's just we need to raise awareness of the lack of treatment in this country because doctors and consultants are not aware of the condition, and it's not their fault. They just need to be educated about it, and that's the problem for anybody who in this country who has rare conditions. So it's a sad in this day and age. They should be able to treat people.
Now you're trying. Obviously, you're raising awareness. That's hugely important. But equally important is your need to raise some money in order to help in this situation.
We need to raise funds for Shauneen to get her treatment. And our aim at the minute is £50,000 because we haven't got a definite amount of money because her treatment is going to be ongoing. It's not that she can go over and get one piece of treatment. She needs, it's going to be going on for a while. So at the minute, we're just trying to get all our fundraising events up and running.
And tell people about those events. What are you going to do?
Well, at the minute, we started off at the weekend there. Our ladies' grammar school in Newry kindly invited us in. Shauneen's a past pupil of theirs.
Oh, yes.
So they kindly invited us in to their fashion show on Friday night.
Yes.
And we did a bucket collection and they auctioned Gareth Brooks tickets.
Wow.
So we raised £1,100 that night.
That's
so
a good
it was a fantastic start, yes.
And then more than a 50th of what you want.
It's brilliant. So we're very
absolutely.
surprised now. I'm very happy with that start.
Yeah.
Then on Saturday night we had a ladies' night. A local woman, Colleen McKeown, is doing a skydive. So she's now offered to fundraise for Shauneen. So that was very nice of her too. So we've had a lot of people approaching us wanting to help out, which is just fantastic. We really are overwhelmed with the support.
Well, why wouldn't people help? Because it's such a heart-rending situation here. A young woman, strong and healthy one day, and then life deteriorates in the way it is. But the significant thing is that with the treatment, she will exist. She'll live.
She will.
And it'll be such a travesty if we can't get that kind of money.
Yeah, because for the last 18 months, we've been taking things day by day. We don't know what each day is going to bring because this condition is just so. We have no idea what's going to come next, basically. And each time she goes in hospital, especially in January there when she was rushed to ICU, we didn't know whether she was going to make it or not. But as we say, Shawnee's a fighter, and
yeah.
she fought on.
She fought,
Yeah,
fought
so,
all the way.
but it's so important that we get the treatment for her.
Have you spoken at any length to the specialists in London yet?
We've been communicating with them via email, and they've
What are
been in
they
touch
saying?
with the consultants here.
Yeah.
They've just said that she's very complex, as she's been told by a lot of consultants
Yeah.
here. She's very unique and very complex. So they've been talking together. So the genetic service here in London have been communicating. So we're hoping to get more from them in the next
Well, that's
couple of
not
weeks.
too bad. There is,
Yeah, there's some
because
communication going on.
Communication brings progress always, I think.
Yeah,
It's a
because
good
the
thing.
problem all along has been that the 12 consultants haven't been communicating together because each of them look after their own area. And now, hopefully, with the progression here with London, then this professor has been communicating with genetics, and hopefully we'll be able to get in communication with the rest of them.
Well, if it's your desire, and if we can help further, if you don't have to give me an answer to this now, but if you wish, having considered it carefully, if you wish to give us the name and the email address or the address of the consultant in London, the head consultant, we would make contact with him and ask him to come onto the program and explain what the complexity is and the nature of the illness. And you never know, with that kind of additional interest in it, something might move. You know, have a think about that
I will
anyway
do.
and see how
Thank
we
you very
go on
much.
that. Not at all. Well, look, it's the story then of how do people contact you? This is
Well,
the thing.
basically, we've been operating on social media, so Facebook and Twitter, and
The fight,
it's called the Fight On campaign for
the Fight
Shawnee.
On campaign for Shawnee.
So we've been working hard on our Facebook and Twitter, trying to keep everybody up to date on how
Facebook
she
is facebook.com/Fight On Shawnee.
Fight On Shawnee.
Yeah, that's it. Facebook, then, of course, I'll give it to you again. Facebook.com/Fight On Shawnee, SEANIN. And there's an email address here as well, the Fight On campaign @gmail.com. The Fight On campaign @gmail.com.
And all our details for our fundraising events are on that, and how to donate through the bank account as well is on that.
Well, will you please keep in touch with us, because we want to be helpful to you as far as we can be in promoting the things you're doing and saying. And I shall certainly promote it on my Facebook as well. And we'll continue. May I hold on to this?
Yes, of course, you can have that. We have upcoming events now. So on Easter Sunday, we have a tractor and vintage car rally in Billix. And that's starting at 2 o'clock. So we're hoping to get plenty of people out to support that. And then we have another big event in the Canal Court on Friday the 13th of June called Hunt for the Hunk.
Hunt for the Hunk.
Hunt for the Hunk. So that should be a good entertaining night. So just want to put it out there, and hopefully people will come and support us.
I thought that's what you girls did all the time.
Well.
Listen, I wish you well, and we'll remind the people again, it's facebook.com/Fight On Shawnee, and it's SEANIN, or it's the Fight On campaign @gmail.com.
I just want to take this opportunity now to thank everybody who's supported us in the last number of months, and through all of this fundraising now, it's just been overwhelming, the support we've been receiving. So we're very, very grateful for that.
Well, we're only at the start of it.
Yes, we are.
People are only at the start of it. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you very
indeed.
much. Thank you.
Go well, and God bless.
Thank
Give her
you.
our love, will you?
I will do.
Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you.